Welcome back to Kenan and Kel with Adam and Aaron. I'm Aaron.
I'm Adam.
And this is the Season 1 recap. The recap you've been waiting for your entire lives.
Yes, in celebration of completing the first season of Kenan and Kel, we have decided to do a top 5 and some other fun games to kind of, pop the orange champagne.
The orange soda mimosas. If you are listening to this on a Sunday morning, which I hope you are.
Aaron, I'm going to make you a promise right now.
Okay.
I will make an orange soda mimosa for the next season finale.
I hope somebody sponsors us by then. By the end of season 2, maybe we'll have.
We give Fanta a shout out every week.
Sooner or later,
Although it'd be really funny if we get Sunquist as a.
That would be even better. Or I'd be fine with a treat, that Redner's brand.
Oh man, I think we can get a treat. I don't think they're doing anything else.
I don't know if they do podcast sponsors, but maybe they could find some room in their marketing budget.
Yeah, well, we'll reach out to them about it. So hey, to start us off, you've got an intro. I'm very curious to know what it's going to be about.
Let's get it going. Somebody, at some point in our distant past, told the first story. Most likely, it wasn't even told with words. It must have been told with gestures, facial expressions, and emotion. Perhaps around a campfire after a long day of hunting and gathering. No matter how this first story was told, that one story and every story that followed after it had a beginning. This first season of Kenan and Kel is the beginning of the story of two boys who learn what it means to be brothers, to be men. Already this Nickelodeon sitcom has made us laugh and cry, sing and dance, dream and imagine, question, and dare to discover. Throughout this beginning season, we got to know Kenan's ambition and Kel's commitment to friendship. We have seen Kenan fall prey to lust, greed, and the lure of fame, and we've seen Kel's childish wonder cause just a few problems. From the heights of the Sears Tower to the depths of Rigby's basement, from the executive suite of Luna Tuna to the White House's West Wing, we've seen just how far true brotherhood can go. We've witnessed Kel's foolish but innocent blunders and Kenan's heart of gold. And we feel like we know them. Like we really know them. These opening episodes had a fair share of hits and a number of brutal misses. But if the beginning of a story is supposed to set the stage, develop characters, and make us fall in love with the protagonists, then Season 1 of Kenan and Kel did just that. Lucky for us, Season 2 is right around the corner.
Wow, that's really good. That's a great transition. I was concerned that we were not going to have enough recappiness to the episode, but yeah, no.
You are welcome.
Those are our heights and our depths, and I like being able to comment on your intro.
That's like when I compliment you on a word.
Oh yeah, yeah. We noticed that happen a lot throughout the first season.
Throughout the first season, yeah. So thank you. I am glad that my use of imagery was able to weave its way into this intro, and hopefully many more intros in the future. But
let's join Coolio, Kenan and Kel on the big orange couch, and just really go over our favorite episodes of the season.
I think that's a great idea, Adam. No better way to recap.
Yeah, starting our top 5s here. Aaron, why don't you start us off?
I would be happy to. So, number 5 for me in Season 1 of Kenan and Kel, the 5th best episode, in my opinion, was The Cold War.
Wow.
Yeah, I bet you didn't think that was going to make the list, did you?
No.
I love this episode because it's kind of like everything I love to talk about. It's like medicine, but then it's it like weaves in a little bit of pharmaceuticals, but then it talks about like wellness and what to do when you're sick. And I thought it was so appropriate for the time we're in now. I was laughing this whole episode, and it was just the way that Kel recovered from his illness because of Kenan's cure. It was brilliant. So it landed a spot for me on my top 5.
Yeah, that's it's true, because I think that it's a great episode of our show in general, because I could have done this show with a couple other people, by the way. And it was a perfect Aaron episode too.
It just wouldn't have had the same ring to it, Kenan and Kel with Adam and somebody else.
Yeah, no, it's a good pairing, and I'm very happy that you were there for that one.
Yeah, and I'm glad I rewatched that episode, because I was like, oh, this is the best. How about you? What was number 5?
My number 5 is the Cold War 2.
Whoa! Look at that.
Yeah, we already sung his praises a lot, but it's a really great sick day episode, because it's like, the concept of curing the common cold. I don't see that a lot. You see, like, people plagued by it, but to truly like infect it, and it's probably Kenan's best idea yet.
Yeah, it actually has some potential. Like, people have created cures and treatments for similar diseases and conditions, and then sold them and made a lot of money. So like, he was onto something. I don't know about Nobel Prizes, but.
Yeah, and the finale with the plane was just incredible.
Yeah. That was just very, very funny.
Him smacking the water out of Kel's hand, and
yeah, it was really, really good. Awesome. So what's your number 4 then, since we had the same number 5?
Well, let's see if we match on this one. My number 4 is Twizzles Fizzles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Twizzles Fizzles is a real. Again, we just covered it, so it's fresh in my mind. But again, same formula that we know. But Kenan and Kel are at their peak. Like they spend a whole season getting to know each other in this format, and you really see them do everything that you could want. They've also established Roger as a threat so far this season, as a force to be reckoned with, an evil entity. So just how much trouble Kenan's in the second Twizzles is unresponsive. So
so polite of you. Yeah, I like that. Concept that you brought in. So Mr. Rockmore is like the antagonist. Like, Kenan and Kel need some antagonist, and usually it's something that they do them. It's themselves, right? It's this whole show is man versus himself. It's just creating problems that, if they were a little bit less ambitious and a little bit less power hungry, most of these problems won't happen. But I do like Twizzles Fizzles, especially because it's just Kenan and Kel hanging out, like, at the house by themselves. Like, everybody can relate to that. And then not doing anything all day.
Well, it's like, normally that wouldn't get them into any trouble, right?
Exactly.
Normally they would be like scot-free, just being in their own little bottle on their own. But yeah, the responsibility and Kenan's own sloth has spelled his doom.
Spelled his doom, yes. Twizzles Fizzles, great episode all around.
What was your number 4?
My number 4 is probably on your list somewhere. Mo Sweater Blues.
Ooh, yeah, that's a fun one.
Ooh, this is a pretty sweater. Ain't it pretty? Look at it. Mm-hmm. Oh man, you done drew it on the sweater. Got it all orangey. Wow, right there. Brianna's not gonna notice that. You right, because we gonna clean it. Come on, man.
What do you love about it?
So what I'm noticing now is when I'm trying to recall episodes, I pretty much just remember like the main scenes. And so that scene in the restaurant, well, first off, the scene at in the family room where they initially get the sweater dirty and they're scrambling around trying to clean it. And then when they're in the restaurant and they're just going back and forth and they fix it. Like, they fix the sweater. And then
Yeah, they came all the way back.
yeah, and then they ruin it all over again. They fixed it in the most ridiculous way possible.
Yeah, it's so sweet when
They like went all the way to Rigby's and
their crazy antics paid off. Like it worked. They were scot free.
yeah,
Right.
there was like an actual payoff. There was an actual moment of success. Like they were triumphant, and then, of course, they weren't. So that was my number 4, Mo Sweater Blues.
Very good. Let's talk about top 3s. Go ahead. What do you got?
Well, my number 3 we already covered, Twizzles Fizzles.
Oh
So,
yeah, great.
Yeah, I really like how professional the episode seems. It's like it's a really, really good plot. It's well executed. There's enough Kenan, there's enough Kel, there's enough Mr. and Mrs. Rockmore. There's not enough Chris, but there's a good amount of Chris. Everybody's kind of like shining. But then they don't try to like weave in everybody. So they don't have to put in Kyra because she doesn't fit in this scene, in this episode. So, yeah.
Yeah, their best episodes I thought were very focused.
Exactly.
And with where the season began and where the season ended, I thought it was a very focused ending. Only one plot was happening.
They were dialed in. Yeah, this was the plot, this was the problem, and they tried to solve it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was my number 3. How about you?
My number 3 was The Tainting of the Screw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a real.
I have a screw prop right here. It fell out of my chair.
Oh, how handy.
How handy.
Mr. Kimball, would you care to tell the court in your own words what happened on the morning of October the 6th? I did it! I did it! Kenan, I'm sorry, man. I did it! It was an accident. I didn't mean it. I dropped the screw in the tuna. I dropped the screw in the tuna. It was me. Oh, the humanity. I dropped the screw in the tuna. I dropped the screw in the tuna.
Yeah, it's a special one, and so how early it is. The second episode, like they knew they struck gold, like just right out of the gate. Great idea, focused episode, like we compliment the other ones for, and just so funny. Like the lead up has a bunch of good jokes too. The Luna tuna scene, the dream sequences, and the courtroom finales, unparalleled.
Yeah, it's one of the best scenes in the history of the show, like without a doubt, no question about it. It's right up there with some of the best orange soda moments.
Yeah, it definitely makes the top 5 for scenes, but yeah, we talked about it plenty. What's your top 2?
My top 2 is I don't want to get repetitive here, but Tainting of the Screw is number 2.
I'm like one step ahead of you.
You
each
are,
time.
yeah. So, again, funny. It's just so funny and fun. I get to really enjoy this episode. I could watch it right now and get the same laughs. So yeah, really, really funny episode. It's just a good time all around.
Yeah, I dropped the screw in the tuna. People just remember that scene. People don't remember anything else about Kenan and Kel.
Like I could say that I could walk in the middle of Philadelphia and just start screaming that, and somebody would like point at me and laugh.
Yeah, and I don't think people appreciate how great the rest of the scene is.
Yeah,
because it's not that he's like climbing over like the judge's quarters,
then he's
like
doing
shaking her.
He's doing the thing where his like knees are touching and his feet are like inverted and.
Yeah,
Kenan, we're still boys, right?
Don't take me to jail, man. Just It's amazing.
And then before that, when he high fives the bailiff.
Yeah, the scene starts off good too. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have a feeling. Did you say your number 2 yet?
I did not.
Oh, go ahead.
And I think so. We have the same top 5. I'm pretty certain. The order is a little juggled here.
It's Mo Sweater Blues, isn't it?
My number 2 is actually Merry Christmas, Kenan.
Oh.
Is that your number 1?
Dun dun dun. That is my number 1, Adam. That is the only 10 that I gave this season.
Yeah, and it's well deserved too. It's a magical outing.
Open this one. It's from me. You got me a present? Well, don't act all surprised. Open it. You got me the tuba phone. Tuba phone? Yeah, she's not just a tuba. It's a phone.
Again, I just edited that one, and it was a real. There was magic in the air for the whole time.
It's true. It's true.
And it disobeys all the normal laws of Kenan Kel, yet it still exceeds at what it wants to do.
And that's what makes it so great. It's because it's able to push the boundaries, but we still know who Kenan and Kel are. Like, it's still in their universe. It's not too ridiculous. But I love it because it lets us see a little bit deeper about who Kenan and Kel are. And that helps us to connect with them further in future episodes. Because I could see people starting to not like Kenan because he's so lustful. And he wants so much stuff. But it's hard to not like Kenan when you remember this episode.
Yeah, no, it forgives him. It absolves him of like the rest of the show.
Yeah, precisely.
Deep down, he's a good person.
Yep.
And yeah, there's some real tearjerker scenes. But yeah, it's a perfect time. And the other thing I think we mentioned in the episode, but we talked about it in detail, but it's Christmas as like all heck. Like they do every possible thing you could do in a Christmas special. Like there's sleighs, snow, caroling,
Santa,
songs by the fire. Santa,
mechanical Santa beating up a beloved store owner.
Toys, gift giving, family meals.
Yeah, they touch it all. Yeah. It's just like neighbors helping each other out, and yeah.
It's a good episode. It's a great Christmas episode too.
Couldn't agree more, Adam. And I even enjoyed watching it in the middle of July, and you guys listening to it in the middle of August.
Yeah. So the last one here, my number 1 is Mo Sweater Blues.
Had a feeling. Tell us what you love about it.
All right, spot's gone. No, it's not. I need some more water. Move. Look. Oh.
I give this episode 10 because I go back to this episode and I still like find new things to laugh at.
Wow.
Not only that, but it does the formula perfectly. And not only that, listening to our podcast, like maybe casually I'd say, it's a 9 out of 10. But because we had the build of all the other episodes, and it pays off in like a show with a tight continuity might.
Right.
Like the girl that he's dating, Brianna, she's from another episode.
Yes.
And like, yeah, the props are from other episodes, like Chris's fire hydrant. And Kyra and Kel's, like, you know, her fawning over him. It's all like paid off. Orange soda, everything's covered, and the Chinese restaurants.
And not to mention Kel's kind of what today we might call a
problematic
joke. Mm-hmm. But if you are a fan of comedy, it's very funny.
There's other stuff to laugh at.
There's other stuff to laugh at if you don't like that. Exactly.
Just the concept of ordering like a bunch of like meatballs and stuff like
the
that.
Concept of using another language and saying words, but they are not the words you wanted to say. It's like really, really, really funny. So yeah, I agree. It's a great episode, especially when they drop the sweater in the the frying pan or the grease.
Yeah, everyone's in perfect form. Like Chris has 2 scenes, And other episodes, like Twizzles Fizzles, he has 2 scenes, and they're not great. But in this one, they are amazing. And he does great. So, believe it or not, I think it's great. And the best one of season 1.
You really sold me on Merry Christmas, Kenan.
Oh yeah,
that's I didn't appreciate that episode nearly as much as after the fact. After we were analyzing it and talking about it, and then of course you shared that story with me. So that's my number 1 for season 1.
Yeah, no shame there. I gave both episodes a 10.
Yep.
So that's properly rated. But yeah, no, that's the top list. What should we do next?
How about we do our honorable mentions, because they just missed the top 10 or top 5.
Yeah. So I asked that we get 2 of them because there's 14 episodes in season 1, so it's kind of like, oh hey, this is the top half,
right?
Like it's a top 5, and then these 2. Here, why don't you start so I don't just talk about your episode a lot?
Okay, so this one is one that we haven't talked about yet, but it is definitely the most cross-referenced episode of season 1, which is Doing Things the Hemingway.
What is all this junk? A cactus? A bowling pin? A hair dryer? A cell phone? What? What is that? A cell phone. Did you know that was in there the whole time? Yeah, it's my mom's. She said I can only use it in case of an emergency. Well, you wouldn't mind if we just used it anyway now, would you?
We talk about this episode in just about like episode 4 through 12, like we mention it. It's really funny. Kel is in his prime form. Kenan is as ridiculous as possible. They climb the stairs of the Sears Tower for Kenan to hang the smallest, like the sign that would not be seen from the. So it's just all around really funny. And then there's the allusions to Hemingway and like the actual great literary author. So I think this episode deserves some praise.
Absolutely. It is also on my number 6. It's the fact that we referenced it so many times just gave it so much extra weight. And it's also, I would say that they didn't have the formula perfect yet.
Nope.
But it's on its own right, as its own piece of media. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Like if this was an episode of another show, I would like that episode.
Yeah, no, it held its own weight.
I hope we continue through season 2 to talk about, to just reference it.
I think we will. I'm going to have to rewatch it so my references will be fresh. Actually, the next paper I write, I'm probably going to cite it.
If you're not super familiar with it, you're going to be in trouble for the upcoming quiz.
Oh, no. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Next honorable mention. I'm gonna have you go because I have a feeling.
My number 7 is dial O for oops.
Oops.
Yep. Or dial 0 for oops, as it is on several sites,
including my brain.
Both are acceptable. The scene in the middle of the episode, the middle of the first act, where they do the phone call with each other with the fake shoe. And
yeah, that's brilliant.
It's so good. So much that the rest of the episode can just coast around it.
Yeah.
It's not too special of a situation, like sitcom-wise, but like that phone scene is definitely top 5 scenes of season 1 for me.
And we have some good characters, too. Mr. Dawson and Amy.
Yeah, we talked about having Mr. Rockmore as a villain earlier, and creating a double Mr. Rockmore.
Yes.
Is very good. And
he's very pliable.
I also, in a way, I kind of a guilty pleasure. I like how rushed Amy and Kenan's romance is.
Very rushed.
Yeah, like I find it very funny that it in a short amount of time they exchange with each other and just fall in love.
Yep. Kenan's like, oh, the opera, that must have been terrible. He's like, oh no, I love the opera. I am a fan of Dial O for Oops, except that it does give me crippling anxiety.
Yes.
that like last, all I think about when I think of the episode, I don't think about that middle scene. I think about that last scene where they're spraying water down the whole house and Kenan's trying to tell a story and Kel's switching the tape, and then it's just like,
it makes you want to crawl your skin, which I'm far enough removed from it, but if I watched that as a kid, I would just be squirming like
gives
crazy.
Gives you the heebie-jeebies. Yeah. So my second honorable mention, my number 7, is Diamonds Are for Roger.
Oh.
Yes.
The Diamond Bandit is your daddy. But bad dad. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when it goes for you? Bad dad. Oh, why you do it, Mr. Rockmore?
Another great episode. It almost made my... I had the same score for this one and Dial for Oops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I chose this one instead of Dial O for Oops because that was also on my list. I chose it just because of how silly it is. Like they're gonna break into a diamond store. First off, the whole reason they got into the predicament was just them thinking that his dad looked like the diamond thief.
So they immediately start like the jokes are pretty crazy in this one. And you learn a bunch of crazy things about Kel. Like he only has one kidney because of Kenan.
Yeah.
I think that's an underlooked aspect.
Is this that list episode?
This is the second list episode.
Okay, yeah. But it's really good. It's fun. They break into the jewelry store, and then
not a submarine.
Yes. They get locked into the vault with. Oh. Yeah, it's just like of course that would happen.
Yeah, when they're down to it's a blank screen and all they have is a flashlight. That's the entire show. It's Kenan Kel with a flashlight, and they make great jokes out of it.
Yep. I mean that's the beauty and the talent of Kenan and Kel. Really, it's like few props, but make the most of them.
Yeah, I feel like this whole first season felt a little ramshackle in certain parts.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But they pulled it together in the end, and like the characters are what are delivering it. Kenan and Kel deliver, and that covers it, you know.
Yeah, and I touched on this in the intro, but we really do get some good character development for the upcoming seasons. It's like we set the groundwork for how their relationship works, how their relationship with each of the main characters works, and of course it's subject to change over time, but it's like we know who they are.
I'm really curious to see how the seasons are going to stack up next to each other, because in my mind, like season 3 is peak. It at least starts that way. But like looking ahead in terms of like episode numbers, seasons 1, 2, and 3 are very. 1, 2, and 4 are very short. They're all like 13, 14 episodes, and that season 3 is extra. It's like 22.
Mm-hmm.
So I next season's when like they recorded like filmed Good Burger and all that stuff. So it's like I'm wondering when is peak Kenan and Kel, and I think season 1's a good. It might be it. That's how good season 1 is.
Yeah, and I mean I think I was looking ahead too, and like we see our dream team of directors again, not as often as I think I would like, but we still see them again, and they have a good formula, and the formula works. I don't know when the peak is because I haven't watched a lot of these future episodes in a long time, but season 1, like, very, very refreshing to see such like a fun TV show.
Yeah, absolutely. However, the dream team's not always there, and sometimes you get a couple stinkers. And yeah, we talked about it way too much during the show, but yeah, sometimes they brought on a writer for only like a single episode. They don't have any examples to go off of, so they don't know what the show is yet. And that led to some lower tier episodes. I don't want to go like super negative and talk about a lot of them, like make it bottom 5, but we highlighted like a one worst one for each of us, right?
Yes, and so just so everybody knows, Adam and I record these episodes at night, and sometimes I'm more of a morning person. So sometimes I'm really fresh in the morning, and then as I go on in the day, maybe some things don't go well. I'm not feeling that. So sometimes I record episodes and I'm not feeling my best. Right now I feel pretty good. But other times I record episodes and the episode is so bad it makes me viscerally angry. I'm mad that I have to talk about it for so long. And the worst example of this, the worst case of this for me, the worst episode of the season was In the Line of Kenan. Just an abomination of 22 minutes of my time, which turned into an hour. But just nothing works. It's so stupid. It's not even funny. It's just dumb.
It doesn't match a lot of the rest of the show. The president's kind of is a big jerk, and you just have to watch him jerk it up a lot. I fully support having that low on the list.
Yeah, and then they have this fixation with the slushos, and they think that one gimmick is gonna carry the episode. It's like, no, it doesn't. Nice try, but so. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. You said not to get too negative, so I will. Hey, I will turn off my microphone right now.
No, this is the airing of grievances. So I have a different bottom episode.
Oh, good.
And it's just because of how much I think it doesn't work, and what they think works maybe worked at the time, but like later doesn't in a current light. And that is Da Bomb is a bomb.
That's your last episode.
That was my bottom episode.
Wow.
Everybody say orange. Orange. Say orange. Orange. Say soda. Soda. I say soda. Soda. Not scream. Oh, yeah.
It's Kenan Kel make a nightclub, and that's the whole episode. And it's there's not a strong through line, there's not a major problem. It's just they want to do this thing, they do it. It's kind of a little annoying. The power eventually shuts down, and Kel does a musical number. And that's it. Like, I don't like the Kyra subplot. I don't like the Kel's new lady friend subplot, and how the two of them interact, and it just ends with Kyra locking her up and like just going ha ha.
That is a really bad subplot.
Yeah, and the rest of the episode, it just kind of fizzles out after the musical number. And I do not think the musical number is noteworthy. Totally understood.
That's not the best episode. One that we didn't mention that I will briefly mention, because that could have been either of ours, is Safe and Sorry. So
yeah,
it was okay. It had its moments. It had its wonder and awe. But I want to throw that in the bottom 3 because didn't quite fit.
I'll place it there as well. I only give it a 5 out of 10, just because it's okay. It does what it averagely needs to do, but there's a reason why. I know exactly why that one's not found on Amazon, because it's a stinker.
Yeah.
So speaking of ratings, I think we have a couple adjustments to make to some of our scores.
Yes, we do.
You said you had like 5.
I have 5 adjustments to make. They're small adjustments, but I feel like in lieu of the rest of my ratings and how the season went on, I needed to change some.
Okay, I've got 2, so why don't we go you me?
Okay. Okay, so the first one is Tanning of the Screw. I initially rated it at an 8.
Criminal.
I am gonna move it up to a 9.
Wow. Yeah, big plus there.
Yeah, that was. I didn't realize how good of an episode that was.
You didn't realize how good it was going to get?
No.
Or how not good it was going to get?
How not good, yeah. It's hard to match Luna Tuna in court.
Yeah. My next one is actually Doing Things the Hemingway. So I give this one a 7 originally, and I think that was I still feel strongly about that 7. And but we've come to respect the episode so much with how often we reference it. So out of pure energy, I'm going to give it an extra 0.5.
I moved that episode from a 7 to an 8.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I had the same exact reasoning. It's so deep. I like how you said about Most Sweater Blues, you can watch it and then you can notice something else about it. And that's how great literary works operate. That's how great TV shows operate.
Something by Ernest Hemingway, perhaps.
Yes, exactly. And so I think the same is true for this episode. Yeah.
Cool.
Another episode that I bumped up, this one I bumped up a half notch, I bumped down a half notch, was Mental Telepathy. I bumped it down to a 6 because we didn't even mention it yet because it's not that good.
Because it's highly forgettable.
Yes.
It was also before we did half ratings too, so I was torn between a 4 and a 5 when I first reviewed it. I gave it a 5. On retrospect, 0.5 away from it, so it's a 4.5 total.
I was talking to Cal.
Yeah, just it's not super funny. The plot doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's very repetitive.
Very repetitive. Is that it for your adjustments?
Those are all mine. Do you have any more?
I have two more really quick. Da Bomb, dropping it down from a 7 to a 6.
Yeah,
you definitely dampened that episode for me. And then in the line of Kenan, I have to give it a 4. I have to drop it down because I just hate it so much.
Do you think that now? My question is: do you think that hate's going to grow over time, and at the end of season 2, you're going to knock it down to a 3?
I think that might happen because it might just be the worst episode of a TV show I've ever seen.
Look, I think I remember enjoying it as a kid. So, and I think it's got a couple other highlights. So. I'm standing by my 6 for it.
Okay. Mine, 4 subject to change again, but that's all the adjustments I made.
Okay, so yeah, that's good. We still got some high highs and some low lows, and it was a fun season overall. Okay, now I think I've got a game to play with you.
Let's do it. As we're wrapping up this season 1, let's have a little game.
Oh, yeah, a little trivia.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, so I made a full test here, like a 15-question test.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it'll go by fast. This first section here is called numbers. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna ask you a question, give you 3 numbers. You have to pick which is the correct answer.
Okay, I can do that. Multiple choice.
Okay. So number 1. How many episodes did Mrs. Ethel Quagmire appear in? Mrs. Quagmire, the friendly old lady who goes crazy.
I know her. I'm waiting for my options.
3, 4, or 5?
The answer, I believe, is 4.
You're incorrect.
Is it 3?
It's 3, yes. Yeah, she has such a big presence, you think it extends further than it actually does.
I couldn't remember if she was in that one of the last 2 episodes, so. Okay. All right, I am 0 for 1.
How many grapes can Kel stuff in his mouth? 24, 33, or 45?
33.
Nailed it. Very good.
Thank you.
Do you know how many he tried to get in his mouth? What his goal was?
Wasn't it in the 40s?
Yeah, he wanted to get 50 in, and then he altered his life goal to be 33.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. All right. Number 3. How many toppings are on the presidential pie? 7, 10, or 14?
There are 7 toppings.
There are 14 toppings.
Oh gosh.
So is it a 3.5 now? Because it's hurting you again.
I hate that episode.
I had to include it.
Yeah, what a terrible gag.
Yeah.
We have to make fun of this pizza. Ha ha ha.
So, how many episodes is Kyra credited in? 7, 10, or 14?
7.
That's the number of episodes that Kyra stars in. Kyra is credited in all 14 episodes.
Oh, that's such a terrible question. Oh, I'm 25%.
Yeah, yep.
Oh.
Hey, there'll be some extra credit in a moment here.
Well, I certainly hope so.
Redeem yourself. And finally, how many times does Kenan say, "Why"?
Okay, I think I'm confident about this one.
7, 10, or 14?
7.
Yes.
Okay.
You got it.
I knew it wasn't quite 10.
You guessed 7 for all 3 of those.
It's my favorite number, and I knew it had to be right once.
To be fair, one was a trick question. Kyra was only in 7 episodes. Half the
Thank
season.
you.
That's crazy, right?
I had a feeling that was the answer, but she's only stars. Terrible.
She's credited in every episode.
Oh gosh.
Hey, maybe we'll get that in the season 2 trivia quiz.
Maybe when it comes back around.
Yeah.
All right, bring it on. What's next?
All right. Now we're going right from numbers, and now this next topic is called lists. Okay.
Bring it on.
So number 6. Name one of Kel's unachieved life goals, and I will give you bonus credit for any extra ones that you get.
Name one of his unachieved life goals.
Yes, something that he wanted to achieve but did not in the course of the episode.
Something about. Oh no, that was. I'm
sorry, this is a very tough test.
No. It was something like
The Fantas are just shouting from their seats.
it was something about hippopotamus, or was that the spelling bee?
That was the spelling bee.
Oh God. One of his. I pass.
I'm gonna pitch you half of one here and see if you can get it. All right.
Oh yes.
Okay. Soup.
Nope.
Okay. Here's another one. Walrus.
Yes, there was the walrus, not a hippopotamus. Pet a walrus.
Pat a walrus.
Yeah. I said pet.
Pet. Yeah. No. He wanted to spank a walrus.
Okay. Yep. Okay. This is not going to be a good section. Just keep going. Okay. I didn't get that one.
That's the hardest one of that list.
Okay.
So, which of these items was not in Kel's backpack in doing things the Hemingway?
Okay.
Cactus, hairdryer, jumper cables, fruit bowl.
Jumper cables was not.
You're correct.
Aha.
Which of these is not a fear of Kel's? Competitions, kangaroos, butterflies, pancakes.
Kangaroos.
Another correct.
Ah, yes. This reminds me of our long-standing debate about whether it was Kenan Thompson in Kangaroo Jack or not.
I don't know if it was a long-standing debate.
We had this debate before Google.
I was definitely on the side that's not Kenan Thompson, Aaron.
I was like, no, that has to be Kenan Thompson.
I said, yeah. So
sorry.
Hey.
2 in a row. Let's go.
Yeah. You're on a good roll here. Number 9. Which of these is not a word used by Chris? Malarkey, orangeatorium, moochie, heaved.
Heaved.
I'm sorry. The correct answer was moochie.
Oh.
Moochie is what the weird bike salesman says. Be back in a moochie.
The very flamboyant bike salesman. Yes.
And yeah, most order blues. Kenan heaves the can at Chris.
Right. Might we say the bike salesman that may or may not have been Santa Claus / Kris Kringle the entire time?
I would say that is my favorite theory to come out of our season 1 podcast.
Yes, I would agree.
It's really good. The other theories I liked was that Kel has a dog. Do you remember that one?
Yep, because he has dog food. Or he's tried dog food before.
We have to get back to the pulse pounding quiz here.
Please. My testing anxiety is... No, I'm just kidding.
All right, number 10. Which item does Kenan not ask Kel to bring to a location? Which does he not ask Kel to bring? Glue, peanut butter, a bucket of glue, 51 ducks,
51 ducks. That's not the right number.
Very good. You did not fall for my second trick.
I believe it was like 30-something ducks.
It was 53.
Okay, oops.
Well, you didn't get the extra credit on that one, but he said glue at one, and he said a bucket of glue in another one. It's weird.
Yeah, no, I can picture him saying both. Okay, let's keep it going.
Okay, yeah, the final section here, true or false.
Okay.
Real easy, 50-50 if you don't know it, and these are a little more challenging.
Okay, bring it on.
Okay. True or false? Kenan's left side is his naughty side.
True.
False. His right side is his naughty side.
What? I don't even remember what episode that's from.
Most Winter Blues.
Oh.
True or false? The title Baggin' Saggin' Kel is a reference to an All That skit.
True.
That is true. Bonus points if you know what the name of that skit is.
Baggin', saggin', Chris.
Really close alphabetically. Kenan plays a character named Baggin' Saggin' Barry, who has these big old pants, and like whatever they need in a situation, he just pulls out of the pants.
Oh, right. That's a great skit. I remember that.
Yeah. Okay.
He did that in the one episode with the one intro.
Oh yeah, he does. He has different flavors of
mouthwash.
Mouthwash.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Number 13. Chris's former boss is named Mr. Mariachi.
True. No.
I'm sorry.
No, that's
What's
not
that?
it.
What is it? You can save yourself if you know what the true answer is.
No, I got this wrong so many times. When we were recording that episode, I didn't say his name right once. It's Mr. Mariani.
So close. It's a Mr. Maniaci.
Oh, God. Curse you, Mr. Maniaci.
Well, hey, look, hey, you're gonna have 3 more quizzes like this one.
Oh my God.
So
I'll have to
it's all
improve
up
my
from here.
score.
Yeah, it shouldn't be hard. Number 14. Chris has been in the grocery store business for 17 years.
False.
That is correct.
18 years.
Another trick.
Got me. Almost.
And this final one is going to require a full answer, okay? I cannot accept something less than a full answer.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay.
All right. Number 15. Kel loves orange soda. Is it true?
I do. Ooh.
I'll accept that answer.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Under pressure.
I thought of that joke, and then I'm like, yeah, I'll just make a whole true and false section.
Oh my God. Trying
so,
to kill me. Can the next one be open note?
yeah, I'll have to. You have to bring up your GPA for your next one.
Oh my!
So.
Is there a curve?
Well, you got over half of them.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, 8 out of 15. You got a 53%.
All right. Yeah, with the curve, that's not too bad. I should give that test to my students this year.
Yeah.
Just like instead of handing out the first test, hand out that.
Oh man. Yeah, it's really good.
Your assignment is to watch season 1 of Kenan and Kel, or listen to this podcast. Only 14 hours.
It'll take twice as long to listen to the podcast.
3 times as long.
But if they watch it on Amazon, they won't get like the presidential pie one. That was a fun game. I thought to
thanks for that.
Incorporate some facts into it.
I haven't taken a test in months.
Oh yeah, you're a little rusty. So we have a review to read, actually.
We do.
From Apple Podcasts. If you want us to read your review, drop one there.
So we have a review from GQ1221. My favorite Nick show. I grew up on K&K and wish these guys were my friends. So many adventures they went on were epic, especially the Hollywood episode. Sidebar, to be covered in the future.
Yes.
I'm glad someone is recognizing the greatness of this classic show. Adam, I think we are doing a good job of recognizing the greatness of this classic show.
I do. So thank you very much for your review.
Thank you very much for the review. Please leave more. We'd love to hear from you.
We've got 2 other segments here.
Oh yeah, let's get it. Here we go.
So I've got some stats to share, some much anticipated stats.
We've only been talking about them for a really long time. Sorry.
Yeah. Raise the stat alarm there.
That was ding-ding-ding.
all the data is in front of us.
Okay, bring it on.
Yeah, I made a mistake in the pilot episode and decided to start counting how much everything was worth that they destroyed. Big mistake, and I regret it slightly. Especially like the past 2 hours before the show when I was just trying to figure out how much a head of lettuce cost in 1966.
1996.
1996, yeah. It was a very old head of lettuce. But yeah, no, I went through all 14 episodes, and every time they destroyed something on Rigby's, I tallied it and tried to rack up how much money they costed. Do you want to get like an over-under on what you think it is? How much money they dealt to Rigby's?
Oh, how much damage they dealt?
Stolen or ruined produce, as well as the $95 that they just took from Chris.
And what about the fine?
The fine is also included in that, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to guess it is... What do I say? Do I say like over something or under something?
That's how it works.
All right. I think it is over $600.
Yes. We want to keep going?
Over $900.
Keep going.
Oh, but I win. I won, right? I guessed over. Okay.
You guessed low. You got it.
Over $1,500.
Yes.
Over $2,400.
Just over $2,464.
Wow.
And 96 cents, so $65. So yeah. Most of that it's Google Puffs. Not gonna lie. 1,700 of that's Google Puffs.
Oh my god.
The rest is like $720.
Was it worth the skit? I mean,
I don't.
I think
I
it
don't know.
founded Google, so I think so.
So in today's money, that's $4,272.
That's cool. That's a good chunk of money. I do think that's my second favorite conspiracy theory, that like whoever founded Google is a big fan of Kenan and Kel.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I think in the same way that we've revisited doing things at Hemingway, we've revisited the concept of boxes of Google Puffs.
Oh yeah.
As this infinite debt that they have on Rigby's.
Yeah, but what about the Skunkatour comics, Adam?
It's still a question. It's still a question mark. I didn't learn anything about Skunkatour comics yet.
I think we should leave it at the question mark. So basically, Kenan and Kel owe $2,464.
Yes. Chris may owe them $4,000 or something.
Unlikely, I will say, if that comic book was not in pristine condition. Very unlikely.
$2,000 to $4,000. There's a Skunkatour episode later in the show.
We'll revisit it then.
One other thing I took count of is how much orange soda Kel has consumed.
I would love to hear this number. I'm sure I have to guess, though.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to guess 17 bottles.
Like 2-liter bottles?
Yeah.
Very, very close. 18 2-liters.
Oh, wow, I was close.
Yeah, 18 and like an eighth, because he has like some of a cup of one. One of the smaller, like 16.9 ounce bottles and one can is the total amount that he's seen drinking in the show.
Okay. I was pretty close.
A total of 1,246 fluid ounces of orange soda. That's a lot.
That's a lot of orange soda. That's much more orange soda than I have probably ever consumed.
Yeah, and a healthy number of that is from Rigby's.
Wow, nice job with the stats, Adam.
Thank you. I'm happy that paid off, and I personally am going to keep a little more on track of it. I did pay attention a lot during the second half, so it was that scramble, but every episode I keep notes about what's paid, so let's... Yeah. Hey, Aaron, what's our next episode going to be about?
Well, Adam, our next episode is the first episode of Season 2, 15th episode overall. It is called Parental Guidance.
Yes, it is about a plot involving Kenan getting some decoy parents.
Decoy parents from the very famous Kevin and Heath. So the dream team is back.
Yep, they're back for the season premiere, and I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one.
Okay, so tune in then and find out. We have one last piece here for the season finale. I thought this went pretty well.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
It was fun recapping some of the best episodes.
A nice casual wrap up. Yeah, and one of our best moments, I definitely think, comes from our Merry Christmas episode. And there's one little piece of Lost and Found here that I have. It is the message from a user called San Fran Girl. It was one of the moms from the Waiting for Santa scene. I mentioned a very sweet story that she had, and I found it.
I believe this actually is the mother of the children, because I think I found this as well.
Cuddle up with a nice warm drink and listen in.
Perhaps some warm orange soda.
Merry Christmas, Kenan, with Cindy Maranferda and Sally Glaner. The sweetness of Merry Christmas, Kenan episode at the end of season 1 was reflected behind the scenes as well. I know this because I was on sets all week back in June of 1996, taping this show in Orlando at Universal Studios. Playing the mom of the kids, who gets their new bikes from, quote, Santa, Kenan. What a joy it was to work with Kenan and Kel. They were just as funny and sweet off camera as on. The kids may have gotten new bikes for Christmas, but I enjoyed the gift of Kenan and Kel in person. And one of the sweetest weeks of my career, as well as met my still BFF, the talented and beautiful blonde mom of Kishka, Sally Glaner. Just download this episode for $1.99 as a keepsake for each holiday season. You should too. Looks great on my Kindle Fire. So, very awesome review there from Cindy. Just talking about her experience on the show.
And I think that sweetness of Kenan and Kel is definitely echoed in that episode, but also other episodes. You can tell that these guys are just a couple of kids who are having a good time, who are making the world a little bit happier, a little bit more fun, and they're making an impact along the way. They're making people smile. They're making people laugh. So it's you can feel it. That's why we're doing this show, because of things like that. That's why we love it so much.
Yeah, you can join us for more smiles and laughs coming up soon next week with Parental Guidance.
Oh, here it goes to season 2.
Thank you for listening. You can send us an email at KenanKelPodcast@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at anchor.fm/KenanKelPodcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all at Kenan Kel Podcast.
Wow!